It really started off as an IT consulting and creative agency, construction, commercial real estate development, staffing, these older industries that need to catch up digitally but don't have the resources or the bandwidth to do it internally. So they reach out to us and we help them get all set up.
Is there a philosophy behind how you are able to get more exposure for them?
We really deeply understand how B2B works. We don't even run Instagram or TikTok for most of our clients. It's all LinkedIn. And then we do a lot of video production for them because that's how you're getting most eyeballs today.
How have you been able then to market what Square Waves does?
I make content 24/7 on LinkedIn. That drives a lot of leads. And then honestly, I do a ton of networking.
How you work with the companies that hire you guys and how you do the revamp to what they need.
We're going to go through their existing marketing. We're going to understand their reporting. We're going to go through operations. We're going to go through accounting. We go through every department. And then we basically take a step back and build out an entire roadmap for the business based on the gaps that we find.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. My name is Andres Figueira, and I'm going to be your host for the day. This show is brought to you by the Global Talent Company, helping fast-growing teams hire exceptional remote talent from Argentina, South Africa, and beyond. We connect companies with world-class professionals who bring skill, reliability, and a global perspective to every role. And just for our listeners today, we're offering an exclusive 10% discount on your first hire. All you have to do is visit globaltalent.co, click Start Hiring, and mention the podcast listener discount when we reach out. And with me here today, I am speaking with Dominic Iovinelli, co-founder of Square Waves, an agency that's modernizing marketing and technology for mid-market B2B companies, which creates demand, strengthening digital infrastructures, and builds out the systems needed for predictable growth. And with that said, Dominic, it's a pleasure to have you on the show, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. Great intro. I really appreciate it.
No, we're so glad we were able to make this work, man. And just so that we can hit the ground running and make sure we get the audience a bit more in context. Dom, would you be able to tell us more about your background and maybe in your own words what Square Waves is?
Yeah, definitely. So the company started about 5 years ago in an apartment garage. A little bit before that, I was working full-time in IT sales, and my business partner was a software developer. So I started managing some marketing stuff with that business. So I was doing sales and marketing at the same time. Him and I always wanted to start our own business for the longest time. We tried probably 700 different things together. We had apps, we had all these different things. And we were living together with a buddy at the time, and it was during COVID. We kept, I was kind of selling some websites. He would build them. I'd sell some social media. He would manage it. Okay. And eventually, about midway through COVID, his boss called him and said, hey, we need you back in the office full time. So we sat down together that night and we're like, look, we're either going to freelance forever or it is our opportunity to jump on this right now. And we were 22 years old at the time. We had nothing to lose. And we're like, no plan, no money, screw it. Let's do it. Right. So that night we typed out emails to our bosses and resigned with, again, zero plan, zero savings. And then Square Waves was born. It really started off as an IT consulting and creative agency. We pretty much ditched the consulting part for about 2 years and became pure digital marketing. And then the IT part started coming back around the launch of ChatGPT. Software development became part of our business again. Consulting became part of our business again. Fast forward now, we're 5 years in, and we really have these two houses of our business with the marketing side and the technology side. And these converge really nicely in the industries that we play in, which are these overlooked, antiquated industries like construction, commercial real estate development, staffing, these older industries that need to catch up digitally, but don't have the resources or the bandwidth to do it internally. So they reach out to us and we help them get all set up.
Wow. Okay. So it's crazy. You guys are just like being the saviors of these orthodox companies that are falling victim to just not being able to adapt to the new times then.
100%. I mean, a lot of these people still, especially in construction, we're going real heavy in construction lately. Some of these people are still on pen and paper when they're time tracking stuff. So we're, not only are we helping them drive more eyeballs to the business, we're also like, hey, we can get you off pen and paper. We can do that now. Did you know that we have computers? So we try to bring them off that, automate some of those systems, bring them good technology, and then, get some eyeballs on their business on social and to the website and things like that.
Okay, that is so cool, man. And I love that really you're actually just helping out these businesses in a real way, because you're going to have them be a lot more sustainable in the long run while by adapting their processes. And dude, how have you been able then to market what Square Waves does? How do you get to how do you have more clients when I feel that these people don't even see Instagram, TikTok, or I'm not sure how you're able to reach them?
Okay, so there's a sweet spot for us, which is LinkedIn. A lot of our clients are on LinkedIn. So I make content 24/7 on LinkedIn. That drives a lot of leads. And then
Right?
honestly, I do a ton of networking, like a ton of networking. My sales
Mm,
guys, same way. So my sales team right now is comprised of one person. He goes out and basically does content a little bit on LinkedIn. He reaches out on LinkedIn, and he does a lot of networking and cold outbound as well. But mainly centers of influence. We're in a trust-based game, right? People want to know they can trust the person coming in and effectively changing the way they operate. So they're not really going to do that on an Instagram ad for us. They're going to do that when, after a dinner or we're golfing or you're going out for drinks or something, you kind of build a relationship over time. And then that transaction happens after that. So a lot of networking and a lot of LinkedIn.
And Dom, tell me a little bit more now. Let's shift the perspective and see Square Waves for what it is. How many people do you have helping you out with this endeavor? I know it was you and your roommate, but now,
Yeah, it was me and my business partner start, and we've got 25 people now that are part of the Square Waves ecosystem that are working with us on any given day for projects.
okay. And do you only serve companies in the States, or are you trying or looking into other markets in different places?
As of right now, we're just in the States. We did have one client in Estonia for a while, but that was the only international client we had. Everything else is domestic. Yeah.
Okay, I get that. I get that. And do you have any plans of expanding, or are you comfortable where you're at and you're just trying to like take over the market in the States to start with?
As of now, take it over in the States. I mean, we could build a $500 million company just in, the tri-state area, let alone the country. So we're going to milk that for as much as we can before we go internationally.
It's better to be in control of what you can do now than try to bite off more than you can chew and then just like be a bit overwhelmed by how much work you might receive. Okay. And in terms of AI right now, because if you're 25 people, I feel you have like a lean team, but you must be very efficient. Are you leveraging AI like internally in any peculiar or different ways?
We are, and we're getting even more deep with the usage of it. I would say some of the most common things we see is like we record all of our meetings, obviously, and those go into kind of this large knowledge center that helps us produce, action items, proposals, things like that. Everyone has a ChatGPT and a Claude Pro account. We're using that constantly to create content calendars. We're using that for email campaigns, to QA our websites, to QA code. I mean, we use it a lot. I mean, it's funny too, like a core of our business is website development, right? So back in the day, even 10 years ago, when you wanted to go and build a website and you wanted someone to do the copywriting and the design, there was a couple different roles that would play part of this website. Because of AI, you don't need to hire this copywriter and this QA person and all these people. You could hire one or two good people to design the website, and you
Of
can
course.
leverage chat for the copy. You could leverage Claude for the QA. You could leverage all these other tools that honestly have saved us probably 150 grand just in salaries, over the course of the last 12 months when you think about it.
Then could you walk me a bit more into the process of how you work with the companies that hire you guys and how you do the revamp to what they need?
Sure. So we essentially have a three-phase engagement model. So everything usually starts with a blueprint. So we're going to come in and we're going to analyze the business for whether 4 to 12 weeks, depending on the company size. We're going to go through their existing marketing. We're going to understand their reporting, what tools are in place today. We're going to go through operations. We're going to go through accounting. We go through every department. We map out all their processes, the tools that they're using, what feels stuck today. And then we basically take a step back and build out an entire roadmap for the business based on the gaps that we find. And then from there, there's typically some kind of thing to build, like sales needs a CRM, or marketing needs a better content funnel or a better Google Drive build out, something like that, right?
Okay.
We will then go and actually build that as part of phase two. And then kind of a combination of phase two and phase three, we'll then go and optimize and manage all that stuff. So we'll either manage their marketing services, or we'll manage the software that we built for them, or we'll manage different AI agents that we're putting in the business and kind of upgrading that as we go. So it's, in a way, it's kind of like this 3-step program, step back, map it out, build something, and manage it.
I love it. It's simple, concise, and totally logical the way that you would do that, because you really have to like gauge where the company's at or where the client is before you start doing tweaks and perks into what they might need. And do you have a certain like, I'm not sure if there's a way that you like to market digitally these companies that come to work with you. Is there a philosophy behind how you are able to get more exposure for them?
And yeah, I would essentially say that the biggest thing we focus on is we really deeply understand how B2B works. So We know the first place everybody looks when they're trying to get someone for some kind of service is within their internal network. That's just how it goes in B2B, right? Second place you're going is online. Mainly in B2B, it's LinkedIn. So we don't even run Instagram or TikTok for most of our clients. It's all LinkedIn. Like we're a LinkedIn specific company. And then we do a lot of video production for them because that's how you're getting most eyeballs today. And we help them with a lot of it's funny because as modern as we are, we do help them with a lot of antiquated stuff. We're helping them build like sales flyers for drop-offs because a lot of these guys are still going into warehouses, dropping these stuff off. So we're arming the sales team with stuff to automate their outbound. And we're basically helping them accelerate with the tools they already have in place. And we're not trying to take anyone's toys away, too much because they don't like that. But that's, it's a tough thing for us to do, honestly.
Of course. No, and I imagine it must be a game of trying to suggest and advise with the best way to go with something, but not change what has always worked for them. Because if it ain't broken, you don't need to fix it. It's weird if you just take it out of the table.
Exactly right. I mean, most of the companies we work with, so our revenue ranges for the companies, smallest companies you typically work with are about 10 to 15 million, and some of the larger about $500 million in revenue.
Okay.
Most of the time, that sweet spot's about 100 to 150 million. The most common thing I hear is, dude, I built this company up to 150 million. I don't even have a website. My sales guys don't drop off good stuff. Why do I need you? And I'm like, oh God, this is going to be tough. So it's like, so then I'm, I'm not trying to change anything. I'm trying to help you guys grow. And that becomes the song and the dance a little bit, trying to get those new accounts.
And do you feel that with your pitch, you're able to get these potential clients to convert? Or do you feel a lot of pushback in the fact that, yeah, they've built that from the ground up, but it still needs to change a bit in order to be more sustainable?
Yeah, I never get pushback, honestly, when we start talking, just because it makes sense. And there's always a problem in the business somewhere, right? Leadership's lacking visibility. Marketing's not doing that good. Maybe his sales guy can get, and I always kind of say, okay, what if your salesperson got 10% more? Not 100% more, but your sales guy is doing 20 million. What if he got 2 more million this year? Is that worth 50 grand to you? And the answer always is yes, right? So that's that's how, exactly, right? Of course it is. So that's kind of how we approach it in those types of situations.
And Dom, how many clients do you have currently for Square Waves? Do you have I feel that you guys are able to bag clients, and then with the service you offer, you stay within the company as an agency, helping them out forever just to make sure everything runs right. Or do you have clients that come and go?
We do have some that come and go that are very project-based. So we've got about 50 active clients any given month, I would say. That's kind of where we're at. But yeah, some people just want to come to us for a website, and that's totally fine. And we'll just build them a nice website for 3 months, and then they'll be done. Or they want to build out some kind of software and be done. We obviously, and everybody in the agency space wants to keep the client for a long time, but it happens. It's how it goes sometimes.
Of course. No, yeah, I totally understand that. And I do love the fact that you're helping them build out these systems internally, but the real value is that you're able to make them keep working, because if you leave, it's like they won't know what to do if something goes wrong. So I believe that's the real hook behind everything.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when we're building custom software for somebody, or if we build out their entire marketing infrastructure and we set them up with the right tools, we set them up with the right strategy. Even if we do hand it off, it's like, okay, well, how do I get someone on site to do video this week? How do I edit this properly so I can deploy this across all the channels? How do I put money behind this? How do I drive leads? They don't really know how to do it. And the saying always says, I could learn to paint my house, but I just don't want to, so I'm going to pay someone to do it, right? And that's kind of where we come in.
And Dom, I know you mentioned that you're really leaning into or finding yourself being at work with a lot of construction companies, but what other industries do you guys also cater to?
So a lot of manufacturing as well,
Okay.
commercial real estate, both on the brokerage side and the development side.
Okay.
And then I would say we have a variety of professional service firms, staffing, third-party recruiting, 3PLs. Those are the kind of professional service firms. Some finance companies we've done business with, like hedge funds and things like that, smaller hedge funds. But yeah.
A lot of old school industries, it's like those that have been there forever. And what have you felt is, is there a certain area that you feel the companies are likely to work with you the most, or are you finding clients all over the states?
So most of our clients are in Illinois. There's probably 1,500 to 2,000 construction companies just in this area. Manufacturing it's the third largest manufacturing economy in the country.
Wow, I had no
So
idea. Okay,
yeah,
that's an interesting
we're
fact.
in a ripe area for this, and we kind of fell into this too. Honestly, like we never really wanted to. It wasn't like we set this business up to go after construction and manufacturing.
Of
Just
course.
kind of what happened. And then as we started getting deeper and deeper, there's again, like I mentioned earlier, but there's probably $100 million business just in Illinois on these two areas. We do have some clients in like West Virginia and Florida and a couple other areas of the country, but our primary focus is right here in the Chicagoland area.
Are you guys planning to expand internally to like grow your team or anything like that, or are you comfortable where you're at?
No, I mean, we're trying to build this thing to a $100 million company. So we're trying to build this thing fast. Our goal every year is to double. So that's kind of what we've been doing. And knock on wood, we've been hitting it. So we'll see what happens this year. But yeah, I mean, we're really trying to grow this thing. So a big hiring portion for us right now, which is good for you to even understand, is like we're really like a big part of our business is becoming more solution architects and strategists.
Okay.
So more of this higher end knowledge work, especially as AI is taking a lot of the execution work. It's not that we don't need these people in house, but the biggest thing that we're seeing is when you go to a company, they know all these different tools, right? They understand how to maybe use ChatGPT a little bit, but they don't know how it connects to everything. And that's where these like solution architects and these strategists really come in on our end and build out these roadmaps. And that's probably the most important thing, especially as we look in the next 5 years and AI just gets even better. That's going to be the most valuable thing. So we're trying to hire for more of those individuals, hire some more marketers, software developers. Yeah, that's kind of where we're going.
Wow. Okay. Like I hadn't understood the type of profile that you were looking for, but then is SquareWaves a remote first company or do you guys have some headquarters?
We're headquartered out of St. Charles. Everyone's in the office 5 days a week. We love it. We're big on collaboration. We do have some remote. We probably have 10 people, 15 people remote though.
Oh, okay. But everybody
Yeah.
is within the United States. You're not
Everyone's
outsourcing
in within the
talent.
United States. Yeah, not yet. No. We've looked into it, and quite honestly, like we did some stuff in the Philippines early on in the business, and it just didn't line up. Maybe it was a bad firm. I'm not saying that offshoring is obviously a bad idea. I know a lot of people that have centers. But yeah, we just haven't done it since. We really we haven't done it since.
No, I know that with offshore talent, it's really, really important to be able to filter the profile of the people that you need because you might find somebody that isn't completely specialized in what you're looking for, and that then leads to friction in the whole work relationship, and it might not be the best suit. But I totally get it. I totally get that, man. But it's very interesting that you guys wanna really grow and that you've been doubling every single year since you
Every year,
started.
baby.
I'm also gonna knock on wood so you keep on
Thank you.
meeting that goal, man. In terms of you mentioning how you market on LinkedIn, do you have any example of a video or campaign that you ran on that platform that worked really well? It might be for Square Waves or maybe for a customer that you work for that could also provide a lot of insight to anybody listening.
Yeah, I would say probably the most relevant would be honestly something I did. So I post often, and I did a campaign like probably 9 months ago,
Okay.
and it was a campaign to get people to an event, an AI focused event. So I did like a couple videos on LinkedIn, I did a couple posts on LinkedIn talking about how everyone knows about AI, but no one knows how to use it. And I set up this event, and I had no one going to this thing. So I was like, I got to start posting. I got to get this figured
Oh,
out. I
so
paid
this
for the
was an
space
event
and everything.
you set up. It was like you
Yeah.
created this. Okay, nice.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. So I hosted this event. Square Waves obviously sponsored it and paid for it, but I was promoting it and I was leading the speaking there. But I posted probably 4 or 5 videos. I ran maybe a $500 ad campaign, and within about a week, I had about 85 signups for this thing. Now, for me, I've never done an event. No one knows who I am, and it was all local to the area of like really high qualified CEOs, owners, presidents, VPs of sales, like my exact target audience, and a mix of just a couple pieces of organic content, and that really filled up my whole event within about a week or two, which was insane. And that's probably the quickest ROI I've gotten from LinkedIn. But honestly, over the last few years of me posting, which is almost weird, there's never a situation that I get on the phone with a prospect who hasn't seen something I've done on LinkedIn and
Wow. Okay.
just like through their network. I mean, again, it's a very tight knit community, right? So it's not like I'm, Mr. Famous by any means. Don't get me wrong. But it's like everyone knows everyone in that industry, and maybe like someone that they know liked one of my posts. And I'll tell you, the credibility alone is so important, helps me close so many more deals. So I offer that to the clients all the time. I'm like, guys, you have to be out there. You got to be promoting yourself. I'm a big believer in the personal brand. representing the business. The problem is my clients don't see that yet, right? They're construction guys, so it's hard for them to get online. But when we have their sales guys plug into automation tools that will message people for them, that will create content for them, the amount of deals they start getting and just meetings they get. I mean, within a month, they're getting 5 to 10 net new meetings a month, which is huge for construction, right? Where they're meeting with net new people all the time, just off of doing some text posting, some graphics posting, and some LinkedIn messaging. So it's a super powerful platform. It's a genuinely insane platform for business.
Dude, that is so cool because like I've also been really thinking like in my own personal brand like lately,
Yeah.
and I've noticed and I say like, dude, if you don't have a proper profile set up in LinkedIn, on Instagram, on TikTok, that's your new presentation card that you show the world. Like if you want to know more
Yes.
about somebody, you're going to look them up on social media and then see how they post, what they
Yeah.
post, the quality of what they post, and it's like maybe it's a match, maybe it's not. But it's so
Yeah.
cool that you mentioned that most of your clients are in Illinois. And I imagine that
Yeah.
after getting that big client base and you post something on LinkedIn and get those likes, it must be an organic network that is being created
Yeah.
around that.
It's a compounding effect. And it's the same exact thing with all the clients that we use, especially in construction. It's a tight-knit group. All the subs want to work with the general contractors who give them the business, and all the general contractors want to work with the developers who give them the business. But it's very tight. So if they start using the same strategies, they're going to impact the same people. They're going to get known by the same people. And that group is going to compound just the way that my group is compounding, you know? So exactly. That just grows. Exactly. Of like 400 people. That's all it is.
Dude, it's amazing. I love it. Like I feel it really is like a knocking it out of the ballpark because like nowadays with social media, I feel micro influencers are doing a lot better than somebody that's trying to amass a following of 1 million, 2 million people. And then it just gets lost in the ether because not everybody is engaging. I prefer every single day of the week to have 1,000 fully committed and loyal followers or potential clients than 1 million people that just scroll by and just give me a follow, you know?
100% agree. And I'm even doing this a little bit on like my personal brand side. I'm branching off into TikTok and Instagram, mainly to kind of help salespeople and potentially recruit some salespeople into the business. So I'm trying to give advice and share that stuff. And it was the same thing when I started. Like, I'm not trying to get 20 million followers here. I want like 4,000 genuinely good people that are committed to watching the stuff. If I can get one sales guy out of that, I won. This is great, right?
Exactly.
Awesome. That's all I need.
If I get one conversion from just this,
One
then it'll all
conversion.
be worth it.
Exactly. And it's fun to create content too. You know, it really is fun.
But Dom, I'm noticing we're almost at time here. But before I do close out the episode and anything like that, I did want to give you the space to let anybody who's listening here, if you're a construction company, you must be listening. But if not, if somebody is wondering how to contact Squarewaves, how to see if it's a good fit for the company that they have, what would be the best method for them to be able to contact you guys?
So either connect with me directly on LinkedIn, Dominic Iovinelli, or you can go to the website, squarewaves.io, fill out a form there, and I'll be in touch with you. One of my sales guys will be in touch with you. That's probably the quickest way to do that.
Amazing. So anybody who is interested, you heard it here first. One more time, squarewaves.io. Hit them up and see if it could be a good fit, because at least from what we have spoken today, I know these guys have a plan that is able to be executed, and that is just beautiful when you know how it's going to work out, because 2 + 2 always equals 4. And
That's
with
right.
that said, Dom, thank you so much, man, for hopping on the show with us, for providing your insights, and for telling us your story. It really has been a blast, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really had a good conversation. I'm always down to do it anytime.
No problem at all, man. The pleasure's been all mine. And to anybody who's here with us still, thank you so much for coming on the show to listen to us, to learn about the different industries that we're talking to, and to also learn about all the different personalities that we're bringing on. So with that said, have a good one.